Welcome back to Forced Education. This is Ed. Today, we're going to be talking once more about Wish. Now, I did talk about Wish before. It's been a while. I think the last time was earlier last month on December 5th. But today, we're going to be discussing a little bit about quarter four, the outlook for that, and some of the fundamentals as it has dropped significantly since December, almost around 50% off its previous value. Now, for this stock here, we do have a few key things. Now, this was back in May 12, 2021, and it did a bit talk about the revenues growth that were anticipated and seen since 2020 for 2021, seen a bit of increases, and it talked a little bit about some of their investment highlights, including things relating towards data science and their investments that are going towards that as well. And they tried as well to kind of move their store rather from knockoffs kind of thing to more of a rating system that would kind of tell you which ones are good quality rather than it being a hit or miss. They also have historically tried to expand with different merchants across different countries rather than it mainly being in from China or a bit of the Asian countries around China as well. Now, we don't have any news coming in around 2022 yet, but there was an interesting one in December 16th, 2021, just in case you didn't see it. So this was actually kind of a pilot for one of their programs or one of their products, which is basically a pop-up vending machine in Times Square. And this one was packed up with the 2022 must-haves for 22 items. And these things related towards different stock items, including things like power banks, LED light-up beanies, and monitor or motion sensor night lights, that kind of things. The gadgets you usually see that might be a bit sparky and maybe TikTok trendy in that sense. Now, 100% of the sales from the vending machine will be donated to the Robin Hood Relief Fund in New York, the largest poverty fighting organization. So this was a bit of as well as a PR kind of stunt. So it's a part of their marketing nonetheless. So you can get to see maybe get some cool products here, and then you think, maybe consciously or unconsciously, hey, maybe I should check out their website and maybe try to get more products similar to this at a cheaper value than what you would get, for instance, on Amazon or eBay or in retail stores like Walmart, for instance. Now, in terms of their outlook quarter four, now they did not provide a quarter four revenue guidance, but they expected the quarter four revenue to be below quarter three despite the holidays. This is primarily driven by their ongoing reduction of ad spend during the quarters, resulting in a higher ad spend in the beginning of quarter three as compared to the beginning of quarter four. Specifically, quarter four revenue through the end of October is down approximately 20% compared to the average month revenues in quarter three, adjusted for a similar number of days. So right off the bat, they kind of put in the vibe that their quarter four revenues will be less than quarter three. How much less? Well, they're approximately seen 20% reduction in October so far, based on basically month per month for the two quarters. So you can anticipate a 20% decrease in revenues. So if your last quarter for 2021 was around $368 million, you might be looking somewhere around, if you do 20%, you multiply that by almost 480, you're probably looking at around $290 million in revenue. Now that's not really good because it will kind of decrease the value of the stock overall. And their adjusted EBITDA is actually between 35 to 30 million in net loss. So that's a loss EBITDA that they're anticipating. Now, previously, in 3 months ending 2021 and 2020, you've seen around 30 million in loss for 2021 and 64 in 2020. So they would be somewhat in the best case scenario that they're anticipating to just meet quarter three numbers. Now, as SEC filings, we don't have much to talk about, but in terms of the price over sales, we're seeing that it's 0.69 and price over book is 2.11. However, price over sales, it looks like they are anticipating a bit of a decrease in the sales this year. This is basically seen right on here. 9 months, you're able to see 1.796 versus 1.747, so almost around the same, but they anticipated in quarter four to be less. So you might have actually somewhat around the same in general. So we can anticipate, hey, it's going to be around the same kind of level of sales, although their net loss is around double. So keep that in mind. Nonetheless, the fundamentals, even if it was less revenue than what you've seen before in TTM last year's, it still would be cheaper than the SP 500 in terms of the price over sales for the SP 500. The price over book is around 2.11, which is still below the SP 500. Now, the concern is not the valuation, but more of the profitability of the company. Their gross margins is 55.60, which is okay, but their EBITDA, operating margins, and net profits are all around negative 31%, which is not good, especially when your return on assets is around negative 64% and return on investment capital is negative 174.75%, showing that management isn't really as effective as we want it to be. But if you do recall, there was actually kind of different appointments for their CFO back in October 25, and as well a new CEO transition that was announced on November 10th, 2021. So hopefully we're going to see better management effectiveness moving on forward than what we've seen TTM based on last year. Now, institutional buyers appear to be bullish and adding in for a major part at the end of the month of December. So that's a good thing nonetheless. Now moving on towards technical analysis, but before then, if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to click the subscribe button and notifications on for this channel. Also, don't forget to drop a like for this video. Now, from a technical analysis perspective, we do have a few technical indicators that are critical for this one. So currently in the MACD, we crossed the negative, which is not good. I mean, this stock has already been beaten up so much, it crossing towards the negative shows a strength into the negative motion itself. There's negative momentum as well, accompanied by that, showing that it's kind of a tumbling effect. It's a rolling snowball that just keeps going down. William Percent R is showing that this one is heavily oversold. There's a lot of selling action than there is buying action for this one. The 80X is at 33.32, suggesting that this is a very strong negative trend that we're seeing. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow are a little bit mixed, suggesting that, well, hey, this might be a good time to buy if you're looking for a short kind of volatility, but nonetheless, it seems to be on a downward trend. Now, the moving average bands and the Bollinger Bands are actually also going downwards, really showcasing that downward trend that really started off since the 12th of November. And the current averages or price points for the moving average bands are between 346 and 283. The Bollinger Bands are between 367 and 261. And it's anticipated that it will be trading around these two lines, but it has been going through a major downtrend even since June. Now, on Fibonacci retracements, this is the lowest support that it currently has, 251. Resistances, there are a few at 967, 1410, 1768, 2026, or 2126, my bad, 2635, and 3285. Now, there are multiple price line action resistances all throughout. So, for instance, the major first one, 271, and then 288, and then 297, and then 327. And then going to 361, then 388, and then $4, and then 435, and then 485, and then 552, going upwards to around 583, and then around higher to 628, and then going to 656, 668, and then around 718, 748, and around 778, and then 878, and then you get the point. There's a lot of different resistances going higher. Now, currently, we are on a downward trend. I don't really like showcasing downward trends, but this is basically a textbook downward trend. Currently in the top, in order to break this downward trend, it needs to hit at least 440. The first kind of major resistance is around 343, but it's continuously decreasing. That's the definition of a downward trend. Nonetheless, in terms of analyst ratings, the current average price target is around 100% upside, around 510, with 4 holds and 1 sell. This one has a strong hold rating. Now, currently, you're able to see that previous iterations of price targets from 5 months ago and a year ago were in the double digits. Currently, a lot of them were downgraded to around low digits, single digits. So $4 seems to be kind of the major iteration for it, which is around 45% from where it is right now. But it really goes back towards management. That's what I think about. If the management is effective, and that will take some time to showcase, and it reflects back on the fundamentals with a new CFO and a new CEO transition, this stock can really come around. Otherwise, if it continues on with the same management behaviors and the same management practices, this stock might be below $1 sometime soon in next year. Now, hopefully, that they will kind of turn around and pull out basically a really good structure for the new year, 2022, with their new management. That is the hope. What do you think about this sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.